was a wonderful day. One of those days you're going to remember for a long time. If you don't recall and you don't watch these daily financial news updates, we took a ride out to Fresno. A friend of ours in our network was opening an emergency warming shelter. Basically, it gets cold in Fresno. He had the opportunity to open a spot where up to 60 individuals can be housed or taken out of the winter weather, which is dangerous in Fresno if you're sleeping on the street. And to do that, he needed some donations. So we took a long list and we did what you would hope we would. We went to Costco and bought everything on the list. Hopefully, we bought enough to carry him for a week or two. We spent a significant amount of money, and was a pleasure to drop it off. So that was pretty awesome, and something I look forward to doing. Hi, Jason. Good morning. Look forward to doing as we go forward is making giving and donations to Fresno causes a part of what we do and part of what we celebrate on this channel. So it's the holiday seasons. As I asked yesterday, think about what you can give, and it doesn't have to be money. It can be time, right? It can be time. It could be goods, right? Jackets and all these things, right? It's tough out there, and we shouldn't look down on anyone. We're all human beings, and we should act accordingly. In addition to that, I released over the last couple of days a couple of burr projects that came across my plate. I talked about the 10 flips we have going on currently, so I put a couple out there to see if anybody had interest in taking them off my plate. I'm happy to say one is sold. That unit in Fresno. And then the other one I drove by yesterday, and I'm like, you know what? We're not going to sell this one. I'm going to take it. It looks worse than it is in pictures. The neighborhood is great, and we're going to tack it inside or outside in this case, because once you change the outside, it will be it's just a normal remodel. So it is going to be fun for us, and I look forward to taking that challenge on. All right, so financial news, daily financial news. Why you tuned in? A couple of things. Do you know what's worse than burning $1 billion a month? Right, there's a company out there losing $1 billion a month on something. Well, the answer is burning $2 billion a month. So Boeing, because of the 737 Max issues, right? The FAA hasn't certified it, was burning $2 billion a month, keeping the production lines going. Now that they've just made the decision to stop, the good news is they don't lose $2 billion a month now. Now it's only $1 billion. Crazy. So that's I mean that I can't even fathom that kinds of numbers. But it's everybody at Boeing better be focused on the quality issue and fixing this thing, because right now they have planes that are sitting out there. I mean, it just feels like they're turning into rust buckets, but I'm sure they won't that quickly. But they better get ahead of this, because if this goes until April, May, June, man, when do you just pull the plug and scrap them all? I don't know. So it's got to be tough choices. More pain ahead for Boeing, I'm afraid. Then their buyers, right? Southwest is a huge 737 fan. That's all they fly. So they're going to be flying with the older planes. So it just has huge ripple effects. Next up, more signs that the consumer is doing fine. Apple AirPods Pro are sold out, and they've been sold out for a while. I think Apple was sold out in late November, but now Best Buy and others are sold out as well. And to really show how good the consumer is doing, there are people, entrepreneurs really, who got their hands on some, and now they're selling them on eBay for $100 premium. So I believe Apple sells them for $250. You can go to eBay and find them for $350. But obviously run the risk of also buying counterfeits. It's just one of the risks out there on secondary sites. So I just take this as more sign that the consumer is fine, more conviction that 2020 is going to be fine and going forward. Next up, Amazon. Amazon is making some interesting choices, and they better be careful. Right? Anytime the big bad gorilla comes in and starts mandating things of third parties, you're going to get the attention of the federal government. So I don't know if you saw this, but Amazon just told all their third party sellers that they cannot use FedEx Ground for Prime customers. Now, I think, if you look into that, it's because they're promising certain shipping, and maybe they're going to say that FedEx isn't as quality or blah, whatever they want to say. But that is a very slippery slope that could cause the ire of the federal government to come in and break up the company, right? That may not be the thing that does it, but it could be things that pile on top of each other. And if they continue to tell third-party companies, right, sellers, what to do, um, that is eventually going to become a problem. So Amazon should be more cautious, in my opinion, on that. Right? If whatever they want to do internally under their umbrella, that's a company decision. But anytime you reach out into the third-party arena, flex your muscle like that, I have to imagine somebody's trying to pay attention. And I just learned this in that same article. Did you know what Jeff Bezos almost called Amazon something else? Do you know what it is? And this came from a 2014 article where he said he almost called the company Relentless. I think he made the right decision. I think Amazon is a much friendlier name, so good on him. I think Relentless would have been an interesting company name and just invited oversight. Probably not in the beginning, but they'd be having oversight now as one of the largest companies, at least by market cap, out there. So that's interesting. Next up, we have housing starts hit a record high at 12 and a half years. Housing is, I think, going to be something that it takes us forward into 2020. They have land and labor shortages, so I think again, as the construction boom comes, they have 12 and a half year high for building permits, so lots of stuff going on. And again, I think 2020 is going to be fine. Just more signs out there. And then lastly, it looks like California lawmakers with Assembly Bill 5, AB 5, have once again shown they don't get it. I believe I have to read more about AB 5 or Assembly Bill 5, but the article that I read on it first talked about Vox Media having to let people go. Basically, there's a rule that says freelancers can't write more than 35 articles a year, and if they do, they need to be employees, not contractors. That's, I understand why they're doing it, kind of, always lean towards the employee. But what if the freelancers want to do that, right? What happens if they write weekly for Vox Media and weekly for someone else and weekly for someone else? There could be very, very good reasons why a freelancer chooses to do that. So there are hundreds of people whose relationship with Vox Media are going to be terminated because of California's lawmakers' Assembly Bill 5. This is apparently going after the gig economy. I believe the Assembly Bill 5 in its idea or formation was created for Uber and Lyft and things of that nature. But when you create a law like that, it will have ripple effects, and I think it may have unintentionally caught Vox Media by surprise. So that's what I got today. Again, yesterday was a great day. Boeing burning $1 billion, but at least not two. Apple AirPods are sold out. Amazon needs to be a little careful when it tells third parties what to do. Housing starts strong, 12 and a half year high for permits. And then again, California lawmakers just don't get it. So that's what I got for you today. Have a wonderful day. We will talk to you tomorrow on the Daily Financial News. Thanks.